important do you think it is for the owners and the buyers, or the sellers and the buyers, to meet?
Always. They always meet. There's
Right.
never a time that they don't meet,
Right.
because,
And how soon would you do that in the process, do you think?
well, that depends. So what I do typically, I mean, my process is, I package up the business, put it out on the market. And when I have interested buyers, I provide them, I get the confidentiality agreement for them, provide them with a business profile and with a SIM, confidential information memorandum. And that's going to describe a lot of the business. That SIM is going to tell them how many, the employees, the management structure, the customers and sales information. It's not going to identify customers, but it's going to talk about whether or not there are client concentration issues and all of that. So it's going to have a whole bunch of information in there, because ultimately I want a buyer to be able to say, yeah, this is something I want to pursue, or learn from the SIM that, nah, this doesn't meet my criteria.
So a SIM is your summary of information memorandum. Is that what that is?
Yeah,
SIM?
the SIM is usually going to be 30, 40 pages.
30,
And it's going to
40.
also have all the financials in it. So it's going to have, it's not going to have the tax returns, but it will have the financials in it, the unadjusted profit loss and balance sheets. It will also have my adjustments, though. My normalization schedule is going to have all of that in the SIM.
But it's your work product, and it's something that you
It's my work product that's been signed off by the seller.
signed off by the seller. Do you use
Yes. PowerPoint, Word, PowerPoint?
You're using PowerPoint. Okay.
I use, yep.
So you're not using the what's the name of the service that we get with EXP?
Build out?
Build out.
I've not ever entered a business in build out yet. So
it's not hard, by the way, if you want to. You just
Yeah.
put the PDFs in there, and then it puts your name at the bottom of your picture, whatever. So
Okay.
it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm good at PowerPoint, but I think the build out, I couldn't remember the name, is not that bad.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there. I just had my own process and my own tools and ways of doing things before I ever joined EXP. And so, it's, I've not used build out, but I do know other brokers that do. And that's great. Whatever tools work for you, use them. Whatever is going to make your life easier, use those. So, but back to your other question. So once they've seen the SIM, hopefully they've determined whether they want to pursue it or not. If they want to pursue it and it meets their acquisition criteria, then I set up a conference call or a Zoom meeting, because I want them to be able to ask the business owner direct questions about the operations of the business. It's not a time to negotiate the deal. It's strictly about operations. And I tell the buyer that. Okay. So we'll have that conference call. I make sure I'm always there, whether it's telephone or Zoom. I want to be on that, because again, I learn more about the business. And then what I start doing is I take notes and I start putting together a Q&A. And that Q&A document, every time there's another buyer and conference call with another buyer, I can go ahead and add on to that Q&A document. And I put that Q&A document into a data room for any of the other interested buyers to see, so that everybody has the same information. Okay. And then if they, once that conference call has taken place, and sometimes they request additional information, so I'll go ahead and get that from the seller and send that to them. Then the next step after that is a face-to-face meeting on site. And so at that point, we'll do a site meeting. And from there, if all goes well, that buyer should be ready to write an offer. But I don't want anybody writing offers until they understand the business. They, have had most of their questions answered. They've had direct communication from the seller, you know, in answering those questions, because I don't want to be the go-between and get something wrong. Right?